I'll now talk to you about different types of dictionaries that are available to you that can help you as a student of Spanish. Some of these types of dictionaries you're probably familiar with, and other types you may not be so familiar with, or you may have known about them, but they don't really come to mind as the first type of dictionary that you think of when you think of a dictionary for helping you to learn Spanish. So first of all, I would say if you are a student of elementary Spanish, meaning you're just starting out, you're just starting to study Spanish, in that case, I would say you don't need any dictionary at all. Um, if you're using a textbook and your textbook includes a glossary or a brief dictionary at the end, that should be sufficient for you at the elementary level. I would say it's even best for you to stick with that dictionary and to try not to go far beyond it, simply because the words that appear in that dictionary are the words that are in your textbook, the words that you'll be working with, the words that you'll be expected to learn for your class. And so it just sort of helps you out to learn those words well and to not go far beyond and try to construct sentences with really fancy words or words that don't appear in your dictionary. And your dictionary should be sufficient, the dictionary in the back of your books should be sufficient to for your level, right? Because you'll be at a very basic level. Now, occasionally you will want to look up a word that does not appear in your glossary at the back of your book. And in that case, I would recommend some sort of bilingual dictionary. Here I have a bilingual dictionary. It's lacking the cover, but this is the Merriam-Webster Spanish to English Dictionary. And it also goes the other way, English to Spanish. Bilingual dictionary allows you to find a translation of a word, either in Spanish going to English or English going to Spanish. So you can see here, there are entries listed. And you're given the word in one language and then its translation in the other language. This is a nice size dictionary for someone who is a beginner. It contains basically all the words that you'll be needing to use at this point. It's manageable enough, right? You don't have too many words to deal with. Now, if you're more advanced, and especially if you're doing any sort of document translation, it's best to have actually multiple dictionaries, because you'll find that some dictionaries don't provide you with exactly the type of translation that you're looking for. Maybe there's a little nuance that's left out. And sometimes the translation you're looking for is not in the dictionary at all because you're doing something that's highly technical. My favorite dictionaries, and the ones that I would recommend for doing advanced work, are old dictionaries. This dictionary, I believe, is from the 1950s or 60s. It's not so comprehensive. I mean, it's not really that big, thick, and expansive of a dictionary, but this one's pretty good. It includes some more obscure words that would not appear in the standard pocket dictionary. But I would recommend having several dictionaries if you're going to do any sort of advanced work, as I mentioned. Now, how do you know what type of bilingual dictionary to get? And I would say this goes for any dictionary, not just bilingual. I would make sure that you go with a dictionary that has some sort of reputable name. This one is Merriam-Webster. You've probably heard of the Oxford Dictionary series. That's a good series. Just anything that has a nice reputable name, a nice publisher. Excuse me. You might also check to see if you have a dictionary that uses the word in a sentence. A lot of times these bilingual dictionaries do not use the words in sentences. This dictionary doesn't, and my red dictionary does not either. But you can find those, and a lot of times those are called learners' dictionaries. So if you go to Amazon or you go to Barnes and Noble or somewhere like this, actually I don't think Barnes and Noble would have this because this is a bit specialized. You go somewhere like Amazon or Half Price Books and you look for a learner's dictionary of Spanish. Then you're going to find a really neat dictionary. It's tailored for people who are learning. So it takes into account that these are words that you might need a little extra help with. You find an entry and you might need to see that word used in a sentence. You might need to see how that word is pronounced with using the phonetic transcription. So those are really neat. I would recommend those to anyone who is just learning Spanish. Now you've probably noticed that I've mentioned paper dictionaries. I do recommend paper dictionaries. I think paper dictionaries are outstanding. Not only do they allow you to look for what you're looking for without being distracted, but also when you look for a word in a paper dictionary, you simultaneously look for many other words, or you simultaneously see many other words as your eyes pass over the pages to arrive at the point that you're looking for, the word that you're looking for, right? So you pick up a lot of extra vocabulary. And also, unlike an online dictionary, you don't just type in the word that you're looking for, the translation that you're looking up, and the word pops up. Your translation just pops up and there it is. When you use a paper dictionary, you have to think about the word that you're looking for over and over and remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm looking for this. And you think about how it's spelled until you get to it. So it reinforces in your mind the spelling of the word that you're looking up, which is really great. And that goes obviously from Spanish to English. Looking up the word in English would maybe not serve you so much. Finally, sometimes the online dictionaries are just wrong. Sometimes they're, I won't say wrong, I'll say incomplete, especially if you just go to Google and do a Google search for a word. I guarantee that first, whatever pops up first is an incomplete translation, and it may not serve you at all, and you may be working against yourself by taking the easy way out. A lot of times what pops up first is just the first little piece of the entry, when in reality, right, you need to look at all the entries, at all the possible translations, at all the possible senses of a word in order to find the exact one that you're looking for. So I would not be lazy. I would look up the word in a proper dictionary. I should also mention, some people think that Google Translate is a dictionary. Google Translate is not a dictionary. It is a mediocre translation tool that often does not serve its purpose. And it's exclusively prohibited in any sort of class that you're taking. But beyond that, it's not a dictionary. It's not meant to be used as a dictionary. It's meant to give you a general idea of how a sentence might be translated. Okay, so obviously it cannot give you all the senses of the word. It cannot predict the sense of the word that you're looking for. So it's not a dictionary, and it's very, in my opinion, a very inferior tool for looking up the translation of a word. Now I'll go on to talk about some other types of dictionaries. Some of them may be familiar to you. Some of them you might know they exist, but you might not have thought about them for a long time, or might not have thought about them being available in Spanish. And so one of these types of dictionaries is a visual dictionary. We remember these probably as children. When you're a child, it's nice to see the picture of a word and also how it's spelled. That's often our first type of dictionary that we have. And the visual dictionary is really neat because it provides you with visuals, right? And then the words translated underneath the visuals. So you can oftentimes, if you're writing something, you're writing a little essay, a little composition, and you just say you're writing about animals. Here you have many animals that you can just easily see the translations for, and it can kind of help you to write a little bit more easily. Here we have different types of shoes. Sometimes you just want to take a look at vocabulary grouped together like this and see what all the different words are for different objects. Here it looks like we have some musical instruments. I like the visual dictionaries as well because sometimes you can't think of the word in English, or you're not familiar with what the word is. Like, for example, it looks like there are some technical parts to these musical instruments that I don't know in English. But if I were to look at this, I would learn the English word and the Spanish as well. You know, maybe I want to write something or talk to someone about the different parts of a musical instrument. And so for here, I can see all of those parts. So these are neat dictionaries. I have another one here that's from Oxford, the Oxford Picture Dictionary, and it works in the same way. Here we have different words that are used in food preparation. So it's kind of neat. It's really neat. Now, something I would tell you about these bilingual visual dictionaries is that it's very important to make sure that the picture dictionary uses the variety of Spanish that you speak. So if you speak Latin American Spanish, and this dictionary is giving you words that are commonly used in Spain, it might not help you out so much because you want to keep the variety of Spanish that you speak consistent. So we don't mix up, I am from the United States. I grew up speaking the type of English that we have in the United States. I would not mix that up with British English. It wouldn't make sense. It would be confusing. It wouldn't give me a very good command of one type of English or the other, right? So you don't want to mix up your vocabulary. Now, it's always nice to be aware of the different words that exist for something in different regions. And especially if you're traveling somewhere, say I speak Latin American Spanish, but I'm traveling to Spain, well, then definitely I would want to get familiar with some of the vocabulary that is used there. But that's just something to look out for. Finally, I'll mention 2 or 3 more types of dictionaries. There are monolingual dictionaries, just like in English. In English, as English speakers, if we want to know what something means, then we go to our dictionary and we find the word and we're given a definition of that word in English. Well, of course, we also have such monolingual dictionaries in Spanish. A very familiar one is known by this acronym. If you go to DRAE, I believe it's .com, or do a Google search for this, you'll see that this is one of the foremost authorities of monolingual dictionaries in the Spanish-speaking world, if not the foremost authority for as far as dictionaries go. And this offers a monolingual dictionary, so you can check that out if you want. As far as purchasing this dictionary on paper, it's possible, but it is very, very expensive dictionary. So this is one where you might just want to go online and check it out. There are also specialized dictionaries. This kind of goes back to the bilingual dictionaries, but if you are working in a certain field, like say you've mastered the basics of Spanish, but you're going to be working in law enforcement, or you're working in nursing, or you're working at a school, there are specialized dictionaries for people in your field. So those are kind of neat too. Those might be really useful to you depending on what you're doing and what you're using Spanish for. And finally, there's something called a frequency dictionary. And a frequency dictionary is really good for people who are learning. And it includes the most frequently words, the words that are most frequently used in the language. So if you just want to get a head start on knowing some of the basic words that would be likely to come up in conversations, be likely to come up in literature, then you can go to a frequency dictionary and find those. And finally, I've presented you with these paper options, the hard copy options for dictionaries, but if you must go online, the best dictionary has a funny name. It's called wordreference.com. This is an online dictionary. It's available for many languages, not just Spanish. And it allows you to get monolingual entries, Spanish to Spanish. You can get Spanish to English. You can get English to Spanish. And this is the most complete Spanish bilingual dictionary that exists online at this time. And it has great breadth. And in addition, a lot of linguists use this dictionary, and I think translators as well. And each entry includes a forum underneath it. So if there's something that someone needs to know that's not listed there, they can use that forum to contact other translators and other professionals who are working in linguistics, and also native speakers. If that person is not a native speaker of the language, they can get more information from these people. So that makes this dictionary really neat. But again, I would use paper first. I think it's a lot better. I think it's a lot less distracting, and I think you'll get more out of it.